Hi, this is your professor, Pat Hanahoe-Dosch, and I'm here to talk to you about the guidelines for peer review and to kind of go through them and just make sure you understand them. So here are your instructions. One, you're going to read the paragraph quickly to get a first impression. Read each paragraph a second time to get a better sense of it and to put comments on it. Write inside the student's essay, or paragraph in this case. Use stars, question marks, exclamation points, etc. to indicate phrases or sections that are particularly good. Likewise, indicate those areas that are confusing, unclear, illogical, etc. with comments and brackets next to the section you are referring to. 3. Then write your answers to the questions that follow at the bottom of the paragraph. Put your name at the end of your comments. 4. Write a brief summary of what you thought he or she should do to make it better. Include at least one positive remark in this summary, as well as at least 2 constructive criticisms. And this is very important. So there are really 4 steps here. The first is to read your paragraphs from your group members quickly. The second is to read them a second time, more carefully, and then put comments inside it. 3, write the answers to the questions there at the bottom that follow all those instructions. Where it says tips for how to discuss, at the bottom there are a bunch of, below that there are a bunch of questions. Answer those questions at the bottom of each student's paragraph. Put your name at the end of your comments. 4, write a brief summary of what you thought that the writer should do to make it better. Include at least one positive remark as well as at least 2 constructive criticisms. Tips for how to discuss. Avoid saying good and bad. Say, this section is very clear to me, this section is confusing to me. Suggest improvements that would help the reader. For example, I'd have liked to know more about this statement. Could you give me an example to help me understand? Relate your emotional reaction to the writing. For example, this sentence really captured my interest. This sentence that you described is very touching. I've had similar things happen to me. I can relate to this, I can't relate to it, and so on. Do not hesitate to indicate areas that are confusing, unclear, or not logical. In particular, be sure to point out areas that are too general. Being too general is the most common problem of college writing. Always question whether the author has convinced you of his or her ideas by offering sufficient examples, facts, descriptions, etc. In other words, details. And here are the questions. Okay. I'm not going to go through them. You can read them yourself. I think they're self-explanatory. But if you have any questions about this, make sure you ask me. Thank you.